Good morning, everyone. We're still missing some folks, but I know some people are going to come in waves because they're coming during their lunch hour. And so I want to take a moment to thank all of you for being here. We've got an all-star cast here from our board, and so I'd like to introduce our board members present today. Our president of the board, Mr. Esteban Rangel, and the vice president, Ms. Tita Vela, and Ms. Erica Benavides Garcia. Thank you all for your support and for being here. I know y'all are super busy, but thank you. And I know you don't need an introduction, but we always like to introduce you and thank you for continuing to support all of our efforts. Today we're celebrating Go Live. And I know that we still have a lot of work to do as we transition to SaaS. And I say as we transition because it is still a transition. And we'll be in this transition mode probably for the next year, and it will never cease to change. And if there's one thing we can all be sure of is that change is continuous and is going to continue to happen as we evolve. And as changes are made to technology, we need to keep up with those changes to continue to support all of you and all of our students and all of our faculty, and making sure that, as you've heard me say numerous times, we work smarter and not harder. And ideally, no one is going to get fired over this. No one is going to lose their jobs. No one is going to be less valuable to the college than you are now, or that you might become more valuable as we need to continue to grow through this process. And so there's a lot to do still. I know. And some of you are saying, why are we celebrating? We're not finished. Because we are finished going live. It is live. And it's because of the work that all of you did through this process, through these last almost 2 years, Albert, and we were able to go live during Christmas or during the holidays. I know that there's never a right time to push the button and say, this is it, we're gonna go live. There's never an optimal time to do that because somebody's going to get affected. And someone is always going to say, well, this is not a good time or that's not a good time because, and there's a million reasons. And they're all good reasons, not excuses. They're reasons, but at some point we needed to pull the plug. And so if you're not happy about the date, blame me because I picked it. But I was really trying to find that sweet spot to make it work. And fortunately, we were able to push forward the date of the start of our wintermester a couple of days to buy some time. And I think that everybody was willing to make that sweet spot work for all of us. And so for that, I'm thankful to all of you. I'm thankful to the faculty, to the provost's office for agreeing to change that date. And for supporting the change in that date so that we could get through that process. But our partners at Ellucian have been really good as well. And so I want to take a moment to introduce the team that's here. The guy I scream at all the time, and literally I scream at him, whether it's on email or on the phone. He's the regional Vice President, Brad Palmer, and so Brad's here today to celebrate with us. And you'll hear from him a little bit later. But really, he's the person I call and yell at. And I think last week or 2 weeks ago when we were worried about payroll, I called the CEO. And they were like, why'd you call her? And I said, because you're not doing anything. And I don't want to get fired. And so anyway, it got fixed and it got fixed quickly. But there are things that are still hanging out there. And so this morning I've requested a list of tickets that are still pending because I want to know where we are with those tickets and they want to know where we are with those tickets. And so sometimes people want to try to save their jobs, and so while they might be working through something, we need to know what the status of those tickets are. And so I want to know what the status of those tickets are. And so we're gonna work through that, Albert and Oscar. We're gonna work through that to make sure that all of you are getting the support that you need, so that we don't, so that at least what we know is pending right now gets taken care of as quickly as possible. And so thank you, Brad, for tolerating the screams and the mean emails. They weren't mean; they were just a little demanding. So. Yes. So thank you for all your help. Um, some of you have already met Oscar Ramos, some of you have not. Oscar will be here for 3 years on our campus, and his job is to be our liaison with Ellucian and to make sure that as you find things that are not working for you or things that need additional support, that our IT department needs support for, that he is our liaison to Ellucian, and to make sure that procedurally we're doing things that are most functional, that we're following best practices, that we're doing things to support the work that we do every single day. And so that's his task, and hopefully it won't take 3 years, but certainly we've got him here for 3 years. And then a person who works for Ellucian and makes things happen, and who's responsible for today's lunch and all of the goodies you're going to receive today, and all of the table arrangements, everything. She's turned into be a good friend, Miss Ellen Mays. Thank you, Ellen, for being here. She's here from Virginia. And she was never so happy to leave Virginia in the 30-degree weather. So for her, this is summer. And so thank you for being here, Elena, for all your support as well. And when I can't find Brad, I call her, because she can even find you tickets to the Super Bowl if you want. So I'm just saying. She had a request like that from somebody, not me. But she does make things happen. So with that, I do want to thank you all for everything you've done and for your patience and your support through this project. We are the first community college in Texas to go live and to go into the cloud. And so now everybody wants to know how we did it, and they want to know what were the breaking points and what are not, and so people are readjusting. Um, so what I can tell you is that we're on the ground, we're breaking ground on this, and so yes, we're going to find things that need to be fixed, and we knew that going into it, and that's why we got the discount that we got. And so that would have been the only way for us to accomplish this task, knowing that we were going in and that we were going to have to figure some things out in partnership with Ellucian. And when you do these kinds of things for a price break, you're going to find the growing pains, and we're going to find the pressure points. And it's up to us to figure it out, because not only are our employees and our students going to benefit, so will so many other community colleges benefit because of the work that we're doing here. So thank you all for what you've done. I'm really, really proud of this project. And before I turn it over to Brad, I do want to thank our Board of Trustees, especially Mr. Rangel. And I know I know I'm going to call you up here because I know you want to say something, and you should, because he's the one that pushed me to really get to work on what is the next step for our technology. And he's been a driving force for technology, not only for Laredo College, but for Laredo ISD, where he works. He is truly committed to the work that we're doing, and he's truly committed to making sure that we're working smarter and not harder. So, Mr. Rangel.
Thank you, Dr. Ramirez. Uh, well, it wasn't just myself. I do want to thank my colleagues as well. But I do want to go ahead and say, let's have a huge round of applause because we really went live already. So thank you to Ellucian for doing that. So, like, like Dr. Ramirez said, I work for LISD. We also just went through a transition of transferring over to a new system. We had like around 10 different systems, and we collaborated all the school district into going into one system. So I know for a fact what you guys are like, what the work that you all are doing, from everything from work orders to payroll to finance to HR. It was a huge transition for us. So I know for you guys it's the same thing. I do want to go ahead and thank everybody that took part into putting their little 2 cents into this, because it really did mean a lot. It's gonna be something beautiful. Like Dr. Ramirez said, don't worry, nobody's losing their job or anything like that. All we're doing is we're equipping you so your job could be a lot easier. And then on top of that, so then that way it's a lot easier for the staff, it's a lot easier for the students. So thank you all for being a huge driving force for us. I do also again want to thank my colleagues at the board. Yes, it's true. I was very much pushing for this on Dr. Ramirez when she first came in. I saw that it was very important that we were seeing a lot of students fall through the cracks of, well, I went and they didn't have my paperwork ready, or I just don't want to go through the hassle. And I just think that we were just losing them, and it was just a matter of what we were going to do to capture those students that were falling through those cracks on not feeling that the college was innovative or kind of wanting to help them, be user friendly. So yes, it was something that I talked to Dr. Ramirez about, and I'm very happy that she went ahead and she took it upon herself, and she started the talks of, okay, I get the vision that you guys are wanting us to go in. So Dr. Ramirez, your staff, thank you so much for doing this for our staff and our students. So muchas gracias. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, sir. There is a group that I do want to point out, because I think that when things go wrong, we always want to blame somebody. And I think it's always easy to fall back on, we're inadequate in this department or that department or the other department, or they don't know what they're doing. And it's very easy to find someone else to blame when we don't really understand fully what we're doing or not doing. And so I do want to take a moment to thank the IT programmers and the IT staff, and because they have really worked overtime to try to partner with Ellucian and find solutions when they didn't know what the solutions were. And so for your patience in listening to all the gripes and all the yells and all the things, thank you for that. And I do think that we're better today than we were yesterday. And certainly we're better today than we were 6 or 8 months ago. And so thank you all for your patience. I know, Gabriel, you and your team were a driving force. And Albert kept saying, just wait, it'll get better, it'll get better. But it has gotten better. I know that sometimes amongst yourselves, you all have conversations, you find solutions in partnership, working with each other and working with each other's teams. And that's what we need to foster. We need to continue to foster working jointly, not against each other, and it's not about who's smarter, it's not about who's outshining who, and it's not about anybody taking anybody's role or credit. The idea was, how do we work together to find the right solution in partnership with experts? And so thank you all for being patient with them, and you all being patient with your colleagues, because I know it took a large dose of patience to do that. And so without further ado, Brad Palmer.
Thank you, Dr. Ramirez. Well, first, I want all of you to clap for yourselves. I tell you, none of this would have happened without you. So, and I just want to put this into perspective, what you've done. I mean, you've been leaders in the state, certainly, but you've been leaders in higher education as a whole. So let me give you a list of some of the other institutions that have gone to banner SaaS over the past year. Georgetown University, R1 institution, very prestigious. Colorado School of Mines, R1 institution, very prestigious. George Washington University, New York Law, and I could go on and on with some extremely prestigious universities that have invested a lot to get where you already are. And as I walk and talk through, whether it's in Texas or Louisiana or Oklahoma or all these other states around, and I meet with leaders at these different institutions, they're saying, by the way, what is President Ramirez doing over Laredo College? What is their board trying to get accomplished? What are their people doing? Because whether you know it or not, you're leaders. You're leaders in the industry, and people want to know what leaders are doing. You're influencing the landscape from a technology perspective, but also going to where you need to meet the requirements of the students. And students are asking for things now that, you know how it's changed over the last 5, 10 years. I mean, COVID happened. Who would have guessed everybody gone remote for several months? Who could have imagined the technology changes that have happened over those years? I remember whenever the only thing I had in my house was a dial-up. You remember? Oh no, I'm dating myself, obviously, but I mean, we've gone from that where the kids are on their phones 24/7, and that's how they like to work. And so you working as hard as you have to get your students there, and that's one of the things that I've never second guessed as part of this project, is your desire to serve the students and getting students and the workforce ready to take that next jump, especially in Laredo, Texas, because you're on the border of Mexico, a huge trading partner for the U.S. I mean, there's a big demand, and there's going to continue to be a developing demand for really trained workers. And in fact, I would argue that it's going to be difficult to keep up, but the only way they can do it is through you and what you're doing at Laredo College. So be proud of what you've accomplished, but there's, as Dr. Ramirez said, there's a lot more to do. And just realize too, you're not here by yourselves. We're partners with you. We have been partners with you for years. We're going to continue to be partners. We're not going anywhere. And we couldn't have done this at Ellucian without a lot of people that aren't even here. It's nice for us to represent those people, but there's a lot of people behind the scenes, just like you have been, doing a lot of great work. I mean, we have Oscar here, obviously Ellen Mays, who's just, they say work with somebody that's better than you. Ellen's been better than me at everything through the years, so appreciate her being here. But I mean, we present about Laredo to our board of trustees. So they present on, hey, did Laredo go live? Are they on time? Is there any support they need? As I was coming out here just last week, I had an outreach from our chief operating officer, and she said, hey, Brad, I understand you're going out there. Is there anything Laredo needs? And I said, well, more money, but anyway, we can't help with that. So, but you know, I had our CEO checking in. They're asking me, hey, is there anything else that's needed? So don't hesitate. And of course, Manita jokes that she yells at me, which is which is great, because it's great to understand when we're doing well, but it's even more important for us to understand where we need to be better. So I welcome that. I mean, it's part of being a partner. And for those, I've been married 20 some odd years now. And one of the things I learned is my wife has identified all the things I need to improve on, and she brings up those things from time to time. So, but it's usually things I do need to work on. So if you see something that's not working, obviously Oscar's here, so I'm sure you will all get to know him very, very well. Reach out, ask for help. That's what we're here for. And we're not going anywhere. We're going to be here for a long, long time to come. But pat yourselves on the backs, because you are leaders in higher ed, and I couldn't be more proud of what you've accomplished to date. Again, a long way to go. We've got a lot more work to do, but I tell you what, you've taken a big step, and a step that others are going to be following. So congratulations.
you want to say anything? No? Erica? No. Okay. Ellen? We're good? And with that, I would like to introduce Blue Chip Catering, Joe and Delia Schwartz. Their Ellucian is providing lunch for us today. Please enjoy your lunch. Oh, how are you? Welcome. Uh, Chris, do you want to come forward? Do you want to say something? So, huh? Is that a bad thing?
Chris McLaren, he's your account executive.
Yeah. So this is the first time I meet Chris in person. So Chris, I don't know if you want to add anything for today.
Yes, I appreciate it. So good morning, everyone. I apologize. Delays getting out of DFW this morning. My name is Chris McLaren, and I have taken over as your account executive. So I am based in Dallas, been with Ellucian for about 10 years, and very excited to be here today and to look forward to the partnership with you. We'll be at Texas A&M International later this afternoon, and they are very interested in what Laredo is doing and want to know all about it. So we're excited to share with them. And again, can't thank you enough for the partnership, and congratulations on a milestone achievement. Good news travels quickly, and people are all across the state are asking me what's going on at Laredo, what's Laredo doing. So it's very exciting. So thank you again, and congratulations again.
Thanks, Chris. And if you haven't met him in person like me, meet him today. Don't let him leave till you talk to him, and make sure he knows who you are and what you do. I think that's hugely important. All of our partners build those relationships and make sure they understand your roles and responsibilities and how they can help you. Because that's what partnerships are all about. So thank you all again. I know you all are hungry. The food smells delightful. Thank you, Joe and Nanita. I appreciate you coming out. Thank you for paying for lunch, Brad. And so please enjoy. Do not leave without picking up your gifts for today that they brought for you. They brought you some really nice things. And so thank you all for coming. Enjoy your lunch. I know we have another group of people coming in a little bit, so hopefully, and if they're not here, make sure you text them and let them know to come over and eat because lunch is ready. Thank you.